Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we're going to start a series where I model this Colt single-action army revolver. So let's get to it. And the first thing I'm going to start with is going to be the handle here. I'm going to turn on my screencast keys, and we're going to get to it. So I think the way I want to do this is I'm going to bring in a plane, drag it up, scale it down, go into wireframe. I think I'm going to try and just get roughly the right size. Sort of drag these edges over so it's somewhat where it needs to be, maybe rotated a tad. Yeah, I shouldn't need to rotate it. Should be able to just go like this, bring it up just a tad. Okay, and I'm going to add some loop cuts in here, quite a bit, just to be able to give it its sort of shape. Yeah, I'm going to go to vertex selection, just start dragging these over. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to model this piece right here separately. And so I'll bring this over. I'll just grab both of these, bring them down until they hit right there. And then I'll bring this one over till it's there, and then I'll just delete these two. And then it kind of gives me something like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and add some extra edge loops in between, just to continue to sort of fill out the shape. All right. So we have the general outline of it. Now this is going to be the frame of the gun. And the frame is roughly the same thickness as the hammer. You can't really see it from the blueprint that I have, but I'm looking at one, a physical one right now, so I'm also referencing that. And on that one, the frame is the same thickness as the hammer. So what we're going to do is we are going to rotate this on the Z 90 degrees. And then I'm going to bring it down, and then bring it over like that. And then I am going to extrude it to match that about like halfway between the line, and then extrude it in the Y. We're about right there. I'm going to try and make it to where each side is sort of even with one another. And probably like that. I think that'll be fine. And then I'm also now going to rotate it back. -90. Oh, I did not select everything. So let's select everything. Let's go ahead and merge just in case. And then rotate Z -90. And then move it back up into position. And the best we can. Like that. Now, okay, so that's sitting. I'm just looking at the vertices, seeing where they line up at. And a couple of these I'm going to need to adjust slightly. I'm thinking, how do I want to do this curve? Because do I want to just bevel these and see if that will give me the sort of slight curve that I need? Now let's do it this way. Let's select the edge. No, okay, why isn't that working? Why is that not working out for us? Let's, oh, I can probably tell you why right now. Probably has something to do with scale and rotation and emerging by distance. Okay, let's try this again. There we go, and we'll just a slight curve. Let's see, if we were to bevel these, let's see what that would kind of look like. Maybe select this entire area. I don't know if I'm liking that. Just creating a bunch of junk, it looks like. Let's try it if we do just the faces. Or not the faces, the edges, and that looks like it could be okay. Creating a lot of triangle. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I think it'll be fine. Let's go ahead and go back into solid mode and let's shade smooth. Okay, so we got a little bit of muck going on. Let's select these and see if beveling those will fix. Just doing a slight bevel on those helps fix the shading issues that we have going on. I'm only going to do, I'll do 3. Just a little bit. Tiny bit of a bevel. Okay. That sort of fixed it. I could also come in here, select the middle line around the entire edge. See if marking sharp will help with anything. No. Okay, let's select the outside edge. Actually, inside, I guess, it would be. We didn't grab that when we beveled that. So let's go all the way back and make sure we actually grab everything when we bevel. Already beveled that. Maybe grab these as well. And then, yeah. Let's do a little bit, not much. Now let's go back through and see if we can fix this little shading error with mark sharp. All right, that works. So next, what we want to do is I'm actually going to take the same outside edge and I'm going to duplicate it. Because now we're going to make the actual grip of the handle. Make sure I don't have any extra garbage that I don't want, like this. I don't want those. I want just this outside edge. And we're going to duplicate it. Move it out, and no, I got some extra garbage. Okay. Let's go back. Let's deselect these. We don't want those. All right. Do I still have? No, okay. I see what's going on. For some reason, it's linking those edges with the ones that I selected. Not 100% sure why it does that. If anyone has some insight as to why it might do that and how I can fix it, that'd be awesome. But for now, we'll just go like that. Not sure what that is. I'm gonna have to dissolve some of those. Okay, but anyway, let's duplicate, move it out on the Y. We'll clear the sharp on that. I guess we needed to move it out on the X, huh? Oops, let's go back. GX, oh, nope. Duplicate X, like that. And let's break that out for the time being. So I'm just going to go into wireframe, select all of it, break it out by selection, and select it, just that, and clear the sharp on it. And I did notice some funky stuff going on with this, so let's focus on that for a second. Make sure we have everything merged. Exit wireframe, and these right here, we have some stuff going on. So we actually want to join this one with this, and then snap that on the Y with that there. Let's make sure it didn't break anything. Yeah, that's fine. And let's make sure we didn't add any other additions that we didn't want. No. Okay, well, let's go back to doing the handle. All right, so the handle, I'm just going to scale this up, set geometry to, or origin to geometry. Oh, that's a little weird. It's not scaling it where I want it to be, but I can work with that. I want the handle to be roughly, so you know what? Let's go back. Let's do scale and rotation. And just try that again. And then what I can do is I'll just move these down slightly, because we only want the handle to be just slightly larger than the, actually, we don't even want it larger, now that I'm looking at it. Okay, so how am I going to do this? I know how I'll do it. I'm going to select everything. I'll select these two pieces. Go like that. Rotate Z 90 degrees. Move this down on the Z. So it's like that. Move it over. Actually, let's back up because I don't need to take the whole thing. I'll just take that. Rotate Z 90. Move it down on the Z-axis. It's about like that. And then what we will do is we will extrude it until it is, let's move it over a tad. We'll go about right there. Actually, since this line is thicker than this line, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to this line. Nah, let's do it this way. I know I'm kind of back and forth right now, but that is okay. Extrude on the Y till we hit about right there. And we'll select everything, rotate. Negative 90. Move it back up on the Z. And we will move it over, try and get it to line up. But we can just set snap to edge. GZ, snap to there, GY, snap to there. That's what we got. I'm going to select this entire edge, add a face. Not going to add a face on this edge, we don't need it. And for the bevel, we're going to bevel these edges ever so slightly. Not a huge bevel on these. And then we'll bevel the outside edge. And we want this to be fairly roundish. Let's make sure I apply scale and everything to it. Select this edge. Now we're getting some. Okay, so let's back up and let's bevel this first. Like I said, we want it to be fairly round, but we don't want anything crossing over. So let's make sure nothing. And so we got this. And so what I will do to solve that is I'm going to probably, I'll probably move this down along the Y. That probably wouldn't fix much, huh? If we dissolve the edges, that's going to get rid of that roundness that we wanted. But we can always add that back in. Okay, let's solve those. Bevel it. So it clamps like that. And I'm thinking for the handle, it shades smooth. I kind of want it a little bit more. And to do that, we'll have to probably move this. So we'll tap double tap G just to slide it. And then we'll go back to here. And we will turn clamping on. Maybe add, say, maybe add one more. Shade smooth. And I think that is what I'm going to go with. And I'll select these edges now. And I'll put just a tiny, tiny bevel on them. Just a little bit. Not a whole lot. Something like that. Be fine. Alright, let's see how badly it doesn't add up with the, okay. So what we'll do is we'll take this, go into orthographic, okay, need to create a little bit more geometry to that. Kind of messed up the, so let's add a loop cut right there. And what we'll do is we will just pull it out. Let's go into wireframe real quick. And we'll just pull it out till it snaps to that. Not like that though. That's definitely not what we want. Maybe, no, man. Something like that. I'll pull these ones out. And snap them to like right there. But not like that, obviously. G, Y. Yeah, I'll go like that. And then G, Y. Snap those to there. And select these. One side at a time, though, otherwise. Oh, well, I guess I only have one side. Okay. And we'll dissolve these edges. Actually, no, maybe we don't want to dissolve those edges. Maybe we'll just slide this down a little bit so it's like that. Let's see how it looks in solid mode. We got something funky going on right here. Make sure I don't have anything else. Let's scale those in a tad, like in wireframe. Yeah. Kind of messed this up when I deleted those edges there, didn't I? What if we... No, that ain't gonna work. Alright, let's go back and approach this from a different manner. Could go kind of like that, I suppose. Select this edge. Just that edge. Bevel it. Well, guys, I think I may have fumbled this. So, let's see here. No, I didn't. That's what I'm going to do. Take the knife tool. And we will go from here all the way through. And then we'll do the same with this. We'll go all the way through. And then here, we'll do the same thing. Go all the way through. And then from here, go all the way through and go something like that. We'll have to go, hold on, like this. Finish that. Let's go back, look at it from this angle, hit that, Yeah, I want it to go right there. And that should allow me to go back into wireframe and then just drag those out till they match up. That's go back into solid just to see where we're at. Okay. I gotta drag the whole edge out. So yeah, until it snaps right there. And grab this edge. Actually, no, I'm just gonna bring that down. Probably bring it down, huh? Yeah. And thinking I need to go back to the knife tool and cut from here over to here. And then slide this down a little bit. And then bring it out to like right there. How bad does that look? We got a little bit of funkiness going on. I think it's because I didn't move this edge. Just make sure that's all we got. Line up. And I think that's probably fine. Maybe do this edge. Nah, I gotta go through and make sure all these line up with that. Whoa, not what I want to do. There. I think that's fine. There's quite a bit of garbage going on here, so I might need to figure out how I'm going to fix this. Let's see. If I start dissolving edges, then we're gonna get some weird stuff going on, I think. Yeah. I think I'm gonna leave that. And then I'm just gonna select this edge. No, I don't want that. Whoa, that's some weird stuff, huh? What in the world is going on here? Okay. So, I'm gonna start cleaning this up a little bit. Let's go ahead and select that, mark sharp, and bada bing, bada boom. That's what we got. That is what we have. Now, we're going to move it over until it barely touches. Probably have to scale it in just a tad, actually. I can't tell. Because I want the frame to sit just right on top of it. I'm just kind of looking at this. Yeah, I'll have to scale it in just a wee little bit. Maybe like that. Is that good enough? Let's see. Take this and let's GX, move it in just a little bit, like there. Just want to make sure that it's not all sticking out. Okay. All right. Now we're just going to mirror it to the other side, origin to geometry, cursor to selected, and we'll go right here. Origin to 3D cursor. We're going to go over to modifiers, generate a mirror, and we want that to be on the Y. And bam! We have our handle. We have a handle. I'm going to mess around. Let's add a subdivision surface onto it. At least onto the handle part. I'm going to go up to statistics. Whew, man. Yeah, I don't know about that. I have $6,000 for just a handle. That's kind of rough. So yeah, I'm not going to do the subdivision surface. I'll just leave it like that. And so we will go ahead and apply the mirror. And we will join these together. And that is going to be the handle of this revolver. Now, in the next video, we will work on, let's just focus on that real quick. We'll work on this top piece. We'll work on this piece, and then we'll do the trigger guard. Maybe the trigger. Alrighty, I will see you then. Later.